Hi everyone, Olakunle Sodiya is my name and I'm a master's student in the Department of Forestry and Environmental Resources at NC State. Welcome to my stand. So I'll be talking about the spatial distribution of forest product manufacturers in North Carolina. Join me on this ride. So North Carolina has about 18.1 million acres of timberland, which is owned by different individuals. I'm trying to get my slide ready. Okay, all right. So this timberlands is owned by different individuals, by private individuals, by private companies and organizations, by the government and Native Americans. In terms of growing stock volume, the total softwood growing stock volume is about 11.4 million cubic feet, which is predominantly found around the coastal plain, the south and north coastal plain, as we can see on the lower map to the right-hand side. And the total hardwood growing stock volume is about twice as much as the softwood growing stock volume, which is about 22.1 million cubic feet. As a top manufacturing industry in North Carolina, the forest product industry employs about 150,000 people, pays about $8.3 billion in payroll, and it also contributes about $33.6 billion to North Carolina's economy. Such a big and productive industry. The lumber production in North Carolina is about 5.2% of the total US domestic lumber production annually. Also, the lumber consumption in North Carolina is about 2.8% of the annual national lumber consumption in the US. And when you look to the graph to your right-hand side, you will notice a trend. That is the total lumber production and consumption in North Carolina. Between the year 2005 and 2009, the lumber production and consumption suffered a decline. And this decline is largely due to the housing market crash in 2006, which was followed by the 2008 great financial crisis, which actually affects the United States generally, and North Carolina was not left out. Although the forest product industry, especially the forest product manufacturers, distribution and location in North Carolina has been affected prior to that time, but this particular event actually aggravated their spatial distribution. And based on these events, there has not been any published analysis of spatial distribution of forest product manufacturers in North Carolina. So this study explores the current spatial distribution of primary forest product manufacturers and evaluated factors influencing their location in North Carolina. So to analyze our data, spatially, we utilize the GTS or GIS statistics tool found in ArcGIS, ArcMap, and ArcGIS ArcPro. You can find it in any of those tools. And for our regression analysis, we employed a count data model. And on the lower part of this slide, we would see the model used in analyzing our data. Our results shows that the primary forest product manufacturers are clustered slightly towards the mountain region, which is the western part of North Carolina, where there is an abundance of hardwood tree species. Remember what I showed in the introductory slide? And also, we identified just one hotspot because just about 233 primary forest product manufacturers were analyzed. And also, the identified hotspots consist of about 7 counties dominated largely by softwood, by sawmills rather. And also, just for your understanding, the red color represents the hotspot, while the blue color represents the cold spot. Also, our result shows that the primary forest product manufacturers tend to locate close to the source of raw materials, which aids in reducing production costs. This has also been supported by different literatures. Our regression analysis, lastly, shows that the presence of existing secondary manufacturers, cities with high populations, raw materials, and high economic tiers, which is peculiar to North Carolina, impacted the location of primary forest product manufacturers in North Carolina. In conclusion, the spatial distribution of primary forest product manufacturers seems to be impacted by the distribution of timber species in North Carolina. The presence of cities with high population impacted the location of primary forest product manufacturers, and counties in Tier 2 and economic Tier 3 were more likely to host primary forest product manufacturers in North Carolina. Thank you for listening to me. This project was supported by the USDA North Carolina Forest Service, and references can be found in the lower part of the slide. I'll take questions now. Thank you.